Today I've got a little experiment to do. A little experiment with sanding and polishing concrete. If you've been following our channel, you know we poured a slab foundation for our house so that we would have concrete floors inside on the bottom floor. We also had that concrete tinted, not stained, but tinted so it's all the way through, or the top 3 to 4 inches. We poured the footings first with standard concrete, not tinted, and the top 3 to 4 inches is tinted a brownish color. I'll take you outside. You can see where the forms were on the outside of the house, and you can see where the different colors of concrete are. So you can see the standard color of concrete right there. That's where we poured the forms, and some of the gray concrete, standard color, splashed up onto the form boards that were right here. Now this is the top color. This is the brown color of the concrete that we wanted inside the house. You can see the difference in color. We tried to get the concrete to match the color of the dirt outside the best we could. That way, little bits of dirt getting tracked in don't stand out like a sore thumb. But when they finish concrete, they spray a curing agent over the pad. And this created little speckles on the concrete that are not going away. We were told these would wear off just by walking on it, tilting the walls up, working on the house. This curing agent would wear off easily within a few months. It's only there to help the concrete cure at the regular rate, the standard rate they want it to cure. Not too fast, not too slow, whatever that is. So these little spots, this splatter-like stuff, this is the curing agent they sprayed on top of the concrete. This is what was supposed to go away within a few months of walking on it. It's still not going away. We've been working on this house for about 6 months after the pour. It's still hard as a rock. It doesn't want to scrape up, nothing. So we're going to try a couple different ways of sanding or grinding or polishing concrete and see what works best. This is an area underneath my kitchen sink / stove. So it's not going to be seen. We can experiment right here all we want. We're not going to see it later if it screws it up. I bought 2 different things to try. I bought both these things on Amazon, and I'll leave links in the description. So if you like one or the other, you want to get one or the other, you can. Just follow the link in the description. It'll take you straight to Amazon. The first one comes as a set, 7 pieces, goes from 60 grit to 3,500 grit. Just foam pads with the abrasive on one side. So you can kind of, gives you something firm to grip a hold of while you're sanding. Now I expected these to be a little bit bigger than what they are, but we'll give them a try. The other thing I bought was a whetstone. Now this is a 240 or 800, depending on which side you use, 240 or 800 grit whetstone. And it comes with a little rubber thing to kind of sit on top of it, so it gives you something to hang on to. To try and make this as even as possible, I grabbed the 220 grit out of this set. The other one has a 240 or 800. So 220 and 240 are the closest I can get. Some warm water. You can really see that curing agent right there, stands out. And that's the color of the concrete we want. In just a few minutes, you can see it took that curing agent off that spot right there pretty good. Leaves a really, really smooth surface. I don't know that I'd want it quite that smooth, just for fear of getting some snow on your boots and then coming inside. Might have to be pretty careful with that. We'll let this dry up a little bit, and we'll hit another spot over here with that other one. Use the 240 grit side. Let it kind of soak up some of that water. This is a sharpening stone for knives. It's a whetstone. So I'm not really positive how well this is going to work, but we'll figure it out. About the same amount of time. I didn't put a stopwatch on, but approximately the same amount of time, only a few minutes of grinding with this 240 grit it wants to get this little high spot right here before it gets the rest of these. I'm working a lot harder to get it to sand this stuff off. But we'll let both these spots dry and we'll see how they look. When I did my search on Amazon, I searched concrete sanding, concrete grinding, concrete sanders, anything I could get to come up with something that wasn't an industrial product. I don't want to buy a whole big concrete sander, but I needed something that I could grind just the surface, not too much. I don't want to have exposed aggregate. I just want to get this surface cleaned off. Get that curing agent off the top of my concrete. So that's what I did a search on. I'm pretty sure this is just meant for sharpening knives and chisels, planers, metal objects, not necessarily concrete. These, I'm pretty sure are meant for sanding concrete countertops, smaller projects. I don't know how long these are going to last. It doesn't seem like they have a whole lot to them, but we'll find out. This kit right here, 60 grit to 3500 grit, 60 bucks on Amazon. Gives you a whole bunch of different grits. This whetstone, 240 grit or 800 grit. It's $16 on Amazon. Here's a spot for the whetstone. Nice and smooth, but I think it's too rigid to sand a big area of concrete like this. I think it's going to take off too much. It's going to want to level too much. This is a spot for our little kit, our set of sanders. Pretty smooth. It's almost through all of that curing agent. In some spots it is. I don't know if we're going to get rid of all that curing agent or not. I have talked to a concrete specialty company, and they've told me there are chemicals that you can get to get rid of the curing agent on top of the concrete. But you have to know what chemical, what curing agent they used, so you know what chemical to get rid of it. I am going to look into that because it looks like the curing agent is more than just on the surface. It looks like it might have stained down further in, which it's kind of upsetting. I really wanted the color of the concrete to just be a brownish color. It does look a lot nicer when you put some water on it, so a clear coat might be in order after we get done sanding this or using a chemical to get rid of this. I really hope that this curing agent didn't just destroy my concrete floor. I'd be really upset. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back at this point. So if you plan on doing some concrete countertops, you want to sand them down at the end, make them nice and smooth, this little kit, I think that's your best bet. It comes with a lot of different sanders. You start out with a rough grit, work your way down to a smooth grit. I think they'll last long enough to do concrete countertops, smaller project. I don't know if one kit would last long enough for me to do my entire floor. I think the floor, the footprint of this house is around 1,100 square feet. So a lot of that needs to be sanded. There are some places that are going to be covered up, but a lot of it needs to get sanded to get that curing agent off of there. If you know of a chemical that takes curing agents off without knowing what type of curing agent it is, let me know in the comments. As for a whetstone, this was kind of my idea. It was 16 bucks. I figured can't hurt for 16 bucks. It looks like it's going to last a lot longer than those sanding blocks will. There's just more material there to work with. But my floor is not perfectly level, so it's going to want to take off all the high spots to get down to the low spots. Where these little foam pads, they're going to flex and they're going to get into the lower spots, not take off so much material, not take so long to do either. Either way, if you want either one of these, links will be down in the description. Amazon affiliate link, doesn't cost you a penny, gets me a fraction of a penny every time you use it. Until next time, guys, go make something.